Whoa. Welcome to Whimsy Live. How we doing? All right. Hang out. Enjoy the new pre-show activities. I gotta go find my hat and turn the light on. I'll be right back. All right, I'm here. I realized I was way further behind than I thought I was. Who's all here? 5 minutes? All right, that's not so bad. Oh. Turn around that. Sent out the texts way late. Like I don't know if you guys watch because of the text, or if you get the alerts via like the notifications. So I should probably look into that. All right, what am I doing? Okay, I got some notes that I need for the second half. Okay. All right. It's gonna be a fun day, guys. Fun day. I think I have everything. Let's throw a tweet or a Twitter. I think that's how I found him. Okay. New post. Yeah. An image. I don't know what the image is. Throw an extra one out there. Ugh. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Let's open this. Let's try to get my life together here, guys. Let's do this. Oh, I need this one. I don't need this one. This one. Something else. There we go. All right. Working on trying to reset my area up over here. I think I like it, but yeah, you know. Hold on, let's see where I'm at. Okay. All right, I like this spot better. Oh man! All right, 2 minutes. Have any of you guys answered any of the questions on the nothing? You think? There you go. There's the questions back. Just give a little drink. Just do some drink action. Okay. 1 minute. 1 minute. I gotta figure out how to. Let's try to get some stuff set up real quick. First was iceberg. Iceberg 3. Iceberg 1. Part 2, part 1. Alright, so we're going to pause and mute that. Try and get some of this stuff queued up, because we know how much this is going to be amazing. All right, 28 seconds. Hello, welcome to Whimsy Live, the Whimsy Nooners. It's gonna be a fun one. It should be. It's gonna be. I got so much stuff going on. I don't know. Start with some mascots action here, guys. Let me clean up my life here. How's my glare? Not so bad. All right. Mascot. Boom. That's a Sophie original painting. Me and her repainted yesterday. That is an original. She's got a beach. She got the yellow sky. So yes, we might see a lot more of these because I think we're gonna paint every week. So we've got some canvas, we got some more paints. I technically painted, and I was gonna show you today, but I figured I'd just wait until Saturday and just use it for a Saturday mascot. So smart. That's how we're doing it today here, guys. I'm all over the place. I think Michelle's watching. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm on." Michelle from work. She needed some help. We said hello, old friend from 100 years ago. So I sent her the link. I told her, I'm like, watch this stuff. All right. So, like Michelle, anybody else watching, if this is your first time, we do 2 live shows and 1 podcast. The podcast normally comes out Monday morning, like way early, like 1 a.m. if I could do it right. And then the live streams, we have why do I hear a ringing? Like really bad ringing. I don't know. Anyway, but the Saturday show is Mind Pockets, and then Monday Nooners, we're just going to go through my week and see what we've been up to. So nothing groundbreaking, but just check in on Ben a couple times a week to see what he's up to. But here we kind of just go over a little bit of everything, man. So let's jump right in. Whimsy Nooners. Getting to know me. Here's where we're going to talk about what I've been doing all week. Get to know me. What kind of random antics have I been up to? A lot this week. I'm realizing, despite doing all of these, everything's starting to blur together because when I started talking about the TV stuff, I don't know if I'm going to repeat too much of it, but I don't know. Anyway, this week, UOFT, which is the Up One's Family Tree Project. I hinted at it on Saturday. I recorded with cousin Jelaine. We talked for like 50 minutes. Oh man, I don't know. I got nervous for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know. I know Jelaine. I'm not normally nervous to talk to Jelaine. I mean, there's others I'll probably be more nervous about, but for whatever reason, I have no idea. The conversation went fine. Like it was fun. It was fun talking to her. And give me 1 second, guys. I'm super sorry. Man, I gotta figure out what this ringing is. 2 seconds. All right, I can't find the ringing. It might just be like, oh, I don't know. Maybe, don't know. Yeah, it's so weird. I'm sorry. All right, anyway. Oh, hey, Mom. Welcome. All right, I gotta get my chair back here again, here, guys. All right. Oh man. All right. So, yeah, the U-Oft, the Up One's Family Tree. It was a fine conversation. The content was really good. Like Joanne had a lot of really fun, insightful stories. I clearly had no idea what the hell I was doing. Like it was my first time talking to anybody, I guess. Like I've been under a rock forever. So I have 50 minutes recorded with Jelaine. I'm scheduling with cousin Megan soon, and then after her will probably be Jason, Fred Jr., and Abraham probably, and then we'll get Rhiannon in there too somewhere. This is what happens when I don't have no writer's room, because I went into this thing like, oh, I had a general idea, and then it just fell apart of what I was going to try to do. But I have it. I got it out of the way. A lot of learning. Obviously, for the last year, we've been doing it right. I kind of just fumble my way around a little bit, and then I re-look back at it, and then push forward and adjust accordingly. So lots of adjusting going on this week before I talk to Megan. I think just structurally, I have to kind of figure out what I need, what I want it to sound like, and I didn't know what it was, but I'm glad that I did it so I can kind of know where I don't want it to go. So, and then we also did some whimsy with the Z. I did like a pre-interview screening type, just get to know them, make sure that they're interested in this project, right? I got one 16-year-old female. I spoke with her and her mom, broke down a little bit as far as what we're going to be looking at. And we're going to start ironing out and getting some of those interviews actually scheduled this week. Ideally, I would like to start releasing those episodes that first week of July. I'm thinking Thursdays, like maybe the 4th. Oh, that's never mind. Wednesdays. So you get the Wednesday Chasing the Whimsy podcast, and then Wednesday you'll get these Whimsy with the Z's. Maybe. I'm going to keep the Whimsy with the Z's on the regular podcast channel for now, for probably a month before I take all those and I move them over to their own podcast. Maybe we'll see. We don't know. We're going to figure it out. And then I also spoke with a 14-year-old male, a 11-year-old female siblings. So I think one of the groups we're going to talk to are going to be them. And with the age difference a little bit to see what it's like growing up with a sibling. Because I remember growing up with Rhiannon and Nikki, like that was a good time. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how they grow up with each other, and just how the dynamic of like the brother-sister relationship changes over the next little bit. Because me and Rhiannon were close, and then she just fucked off, and I fucked off. And then I got close with Nikki, but that was way after, but when she was still in high school. So like, it's kind of weird to kind of, so we'll follow that a little bit. I have maybe one 18-year-old, unless I can't get in contact with them. Otherwise, I have two 15-year-old juniors, boy, girl, that I'll probably round out those 4 with. Hi, Grandma's here. So we're starting them. I don't know what to do with half of them yet. We're just gonna, like I said, the family tree stuff is probably gonna. I'll collect a couple of those. I definitely have to edit the Jelaine one because I have no idea what I was doing. Like I sounded like hard, like super amateur. Like you would have no idea that I had like 130 hours of like recording under me. It was so bad. I hated every bit of it. But yeah, we're moving forward on a lot of things, and I'm happy. We're running out the last month of year one, and so here's what I found out. I'm officially done. Like I can add almost nothing more to Whimsy right now by myself. So like a lot of people were like, it's too much. Maybe you're doing too much. Like whatever. I'm like, I can handle it. So I can handle it. I wanted to do these two, the family tree and the Whimsy with the Z. They're going to be a little bit more, like a little more serious, into the day in the life of and the history of. So I like it. They'll be fun, but not whimsical like I'm doing with these these three, the two streams in the podcast. But yeah, I think I'm officially I've met the ceiling of what I can handle by myself. So I will soon-ish be looking into finding help to help not take anything off my plate so much, but to help out with a couple things. Like there's some stuff coming up, man. Like it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. One, it would be nice to have like a script supervisor so they could have looked over some of these questions I did with this fucking family tree thing that fell apart. Someone to help with the putting the presentation together. So I'm going to start looking for anybody who's interested. And then we'll have to work out some kind of pay, right? So I think we're at a place where I could no longer go further than this. I mean, I still will because that's just what I do. But if I can get someone to jump in and help out, would be fantastic. Because we got a fun episode today, and then we have a very fun episode coming up. Where's he at? Okay, so this special guest here, I'm not going to spoil who he is yet. We're probably 2 weeks out before his episode drops. This is a professional e-gamer, or and I talked to him yesterday. Super awesome kid. 19, professional e-gamer. Also worrying about going to college at the end of the summer. So a couple of things with this episode is it does not lend to a live stream. So what will happen is, but it does lend to a video, right? Like if you're an e-gamer and you do something great, you need the visuals of the game that you were playing so that people can see the brilliance, right? So I have to try and so like now I'm writing script scripts of like the intro. How entertaining was that? All right. Well, we'll just start over. Yeah, so that's fucking shitty, right? Whimsy live. Let's go, where is he? All right, well, it says I'm back up, so we're just gonna fucking keep rolling with it. Super interesting what just happened. I think my internet went out. No, not went out. So one of the problems right now, especially in the summer, is with everybody at home, right? Everybody's using the internet and everything else, and it starts pulling on everybody's like stuff. So it looks to be okay now. Like it didn't give me any kind of indication of like it just went fucking out. Like I guess all right. I asked her. She probably did it. She probably turned off the internet because she's like, "Oh man, I'm a little bit behind. Let me just turn off the internets until she can get on." So, all right. I was talking about this guy, eSporter. So I talked to him yesterday for like 20 minutes. Such a nice guy. Like you guys you guys will love him probably more than you love me. So because he's an e-gamer, it's going to benefit from a video podcast, right? So I'll put up the regular it'll probably be the podcast episode for the first, if I had to guess. So I'll put it out on the first, but then it'll have the companion, or you can just watch it on YouTube to see the visuals aspects of it. So now I got to write a script for this thing. Like I have a general idea of what some of the questions I want to ask him, but I need to write, the 5 to 7 minute intro to introduce this guy, right? So now I have to try to figure out how to write that thing, one, to the point where I can read it, because I can't read out loud. So I got to figure out. So yes, we're gonna get to a point where I need to start hiring writers. So if anybody was good at doing book reports, or is willing, for a couple and type up like a 2-page script, let me know. I don't know, a couple of people I can reach out to, I think. But it's going to be interesting. He's going to be a fantastic episode. Pay attention to him. This is going to be, I'll start giving his name out later. I'm just going to try slow roll this thing a little bit, right? I don't want you guys researching all the shit before I get him on, and then you're like, well, I already know who he is. So, yeah, we're going to slow roll him for a minute. And I told him I would get with him by next Saturday to schedule a date for the week after. So if I have a calendar here, so by Saturday, so I'll record with him sometime the week of the 24th, and then I'm gonna have to edit that thing down a little bit. So with whatever, which is gonna be weird. So the video, I'm not gonna edit the video. I just know that. So I guess you should listen to it twice, maybe, like on the podcast and then on the live stream to see what I cut out. Like, how funny would that be? You like, the interview was only 48 minutes, but the live stream or the video of it's like an hour 20. You're like, what the hell did Ben do? Like, where does he take out 40 minutes? I don't know. But this is super big for me. A lot of people keep asking, like, how do I get Ming Chen, Brian Johnson, Jay Sarge? How do I get on a podcast, like suggested articles? And kind of the tying into the thing with the Whimsy with the Z thing, right? Is with the kids, kind of curious on how they overcome people saying like you're a dumb kid or you can't do something. And like, I just like trying. So when people are like, well, how do you get some of these people? I don't know. Just fucking email them. Like, they're people. Just email. Worst case, they say no. And then best case, they say yes. So, I mean, it took me a couple minutes to track this guy down, but it worked out. Super nice guy. You guys are going to love him. So he just finished. He just went to the World Championship. I don't know how well he did. I should have looked that up, but that just ended. The CTWC, wink. So he's an awesome guy. I think you guys are going to enjoy him. And again, the beauty of this guy, he revolutionized his game. Like, whatever game he's playing, he changed the entire way that people play the game for the last 30 years. So I'll keep teasing him for the next week or so. When I actually get it scheduled to interview, I will. I'll give some more deets. Maybe I'll put up on the pre-show some questions about it, and then if you guys can guess who he is, we'll give some shit away or something. But yeah, we'll see. And then what else have I been up to? Hold on, we gotta wait for the next screen. All right. I fell down this rabbit hole, and we're going to talk about this guy, Jeff, at the second half of the show. But this is what I've been doing. Fucking, like, this guy is amazing. And I am like, he's so like awesome. I had to put him in this thing twice, like, to tease it all the way up. Like, so like half hour from now, when we get into Jeff, brilliant YouTuber. He's amazing. He's so much fun. But here's some of his stuff. That's his name. That's his YouTube channel. Same name on Twitter. He's got a Patreon and some stuff. But that's what I've been up to this week, is just fumbling my way through some of these interviews with these kids, with Jelaine, and scheduling upcoming interviews. So a very interview podcast week, which is kind of interesting. It's nice. It's not so much me building or putting something together, or like what ifs. Like I'm actually doing now, and I'm excited and happy about doing all of that. this week's controversial question for Taylor Tomlinson. Taylor, how you doing? I'm just podcasting, live streaming. Taylor just got renewed for a second season of After Midnight. So good job. I love the fact that this thing is blowing right now. Are you kidding me? Like, because I have to push the table out. Sorry, Taylor, but I have to push this table out so that way I can sit in here more comfortably. And when I did that, this fucking thing just flaps. So now all the time I just notice it just like, that's the special effects that we have over here. Taylor, controversial question. Wasn't supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun and lighthearted. But that is the wrong question. That's last week's question. Fuck me. All right, let's just skip past that for a second. Taylor, this week's question is, what old people thing do you do? Old people, like, not like old person thing. Fall asleep early, dinner by like 4:30. Like me, I can't get up without making a grip of noises. Oh man, hold on. I got one. I noticed it a little while ago, and I stopped it because I didn't like the fact that I did it. I had her like Liam used to play with some of the neighbor kids, and they'd play in the front yard, and I'm like, get out of my yard. And I couldn't believe it. And recently he started climbing up on the walls in the trailers in the back. And I was like, I was going to yell at him, but I'm like, no, he's 14. But I had that real, like, get off my lawn type moment recently. A while ago, I missed it, but recently I caught it and I just bite my tongue. But that kind of like old person type thing, right? Is, I'm not making fun of old people. Just sometimes you realize you get old and things just aren't doing the same. I'm of an age where I think I'm going to start, having to pee all the time. I don't know. I haven't been to the doctor in a while, but I'm pretty sure that's an older person thing, right? But yeah, get off my lawn. Oh man. So Taylor, I'd be curious on what kind of things you do that make you feel old. I guess that would have been a better way to phrase the question, right? What things do you do that make you feel old versus what old people thing do you do? Okay. See this? Oh man, this is why I need someone to help me out. I need someone to write these things and be like, here's a joke. And then I just need someone to be like, take that out and then reword it. So, whoops. Taylor Tomlinson, I think you're amazing. I'm glad to hear you got your second show or your second season. You're doing great things out there. So keep it up. You're amazing. All right. Where are we at? The Pocket Watch. This is your first time here. We're talking things I've been watching on TV. Or in the movies or whatever. Just wherever. So I had mentioned that the Emmys are coming up. Emmys are the bane of my existence because I had a very horrible 2 Emmy shows this year, and I did not appreciate it. So this year I'm focusing. Like, this is the best part about me. I'm doing homework where I have to watch TV so that I can speak semi-intelligently about some TV shows. Like, where was this class in high school, right? Where was the class that was like, hey, you want to be a journalist? Like, watch some TV and then write a review on it. I'd be down with that game. Night Country, True Detective. I mentioned I was starting it last week and finished it. 6 episodes. Good. It was pretty good. Jodie Foster is fantastic in it. She deserves whatever nomination she gets for this thing. So we mentioned that she has like a lot of like real like Silence of the Lamb, Clarice Starling type vibes to it. Up in Alaska, where like you get days of night, right? So like 20 days of night, and then there's a crime that's happening, and she's running around trying to solve the crime, and she's got a friend solving some crimes and stuff. Yeah, there's a mystery. Is there not a serial killer? Is it paranormal? We don't know. Literally, we don't know until the very end. Like the last 4 minutes explains the whole fucking thing. Good. It was. She was fantastic. This is what's interesting is, and as historians will eventually look back on 2023, 2024. Yeah, right. Is they're going to find this podcast and this guy, Ben, right? And they're going to be like, this guy predicted a bunch of shit, right? And or a lot of the things he said made sense and why things have currently changed. This thing was only 6 episodes long. Thank God you could not have made this 10. Like, if this was 3 years ago, this would have been 10 episodes long. And it would have been too much. It is exactly where it needed to be. And I'm super excited to see that limited series are not running to this arbitrary fucking 10. It used to be television used to run network, right? 24 episodes a year. And like you would have some really weird episodes or some whatever episodes in them. And then we went to streaming. And then all of a sudden streaming was like, well, I guess we'll just do 10 episodes. And then it got to the point where like, we don't need 10 episodes. Make it 6. So this will be a Emmy contender for Best Actress and Best Drama in a limited series. It was really good. I think you guys will enjoy it. There was just enough stuff going on over there. So, what else was I watching? I fell down this hole. The Kane Mutiny Court Martial. It's like an hour 40. I watched it on Paramount because it has the Showtime grouping with it. I don't know. I have a thing for courtroom dramas. It's an hour 40 in just a fucking courtroom. And was like, so Kiefer Sutherland is like the captain of a boat in the Navy. And then like his first officer was like, F this, I'm kicking you out. A big mutiny maybe happens. And now we have to try to find out if the mutiny was justified, was not justified. I very much enjoy a good courtroom. I don't know. I would hope to see Kiefer Sutherland win or get a nomination for like a TV movie. I don't, because this didn't release anywhere, so I think this would still qualify for like a TV movie. Interesting. All of the maybe 5 main actors that are, you know, two lawyers, a judge guy, Kiefer Sutherland, and like 2 other guys, so like 6, right? It was entertaining enough. I enjoyed Kiefer Sutherland. He does some really fun stuff. I enjoyed him a lot, especially since Designated Survivor. So if you're looking for something quick, hour 40 in between whatevers, I recommend this guy. It was the ending is fantastic. The whole second act is great, and then the big reveal at the end was good. So I'll give you my thumbs up. Now I wonder if I watched something and it was a complete, like a total piece of garbage, I would tell you. So I was thinking, I'm like, obviously I give it a thumbs up, but like, would I ever tell you guys thumbs down? I would absolutely. Remembering Gene Wilder is on Netflix now. I think it came out like a year and a half ago. Gene Wilder was fantastic. Willy Wonka, the handful of movies he did with Pryor. Interesting. This one was better than what was the other documentary that I watched last week that I didn't like? Shit. The puppets. Jim Henson. The Jim Henson one was fine. It was good. It was good to see the rise of him. But that was it. It was just like he did some puppets and did some shit. Gene Wilder, man, like he's got some ups and downs. He's got some love and some tragedy and stuff. Such a fun. It was fun. My favorite story about Gene Wilder was his ultimatum for Willy Wonka. In the script, Willy Wonka was originally supposed to come out like happy. But Gene was like, no, we got to play this Willy Wonka character. Like the first time you see Willy, you got to play it differently. And he was like, if I don't get to do it my way, I'm just gonna leave. So they let him do it, and it was brilliant. They get into some of his roles, and we can get to see the brilliance that was Gene Wilder. I would recommend this one. I definitely recommend. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. Gene Wilder. What else? Okay, so this is the one. This one somehow made it into the title, right? Brats. Documentary by members of the Brat Pack. So the Brat Pack was this phenomenon in the 80s of these kids that were all in the same movies together. Emilio Estevez, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald. Oh, I talked to my mom today about it. How come there was no Anthony Michael Hall? Where was he at? Wasn't he in some of those movies? That seems weird. But Andrew McCarthy hates for 30 years or longer. How much? Like we're beyond 30 years, right? 80. We'll call it like 85, just because. 20, like 40 years. For 40 years, they've been called the Brat Pack. It's these fucking kids right here. Hold on. All these guys, right? They were in a couple of movies together, and this rando journalist comes out one day and writes an article about these guys, and we're like, yeah, they're the new Brat Pack. And, kind of trying to be like, all witty and punny, like the Rat Pack from the 50s. But there's a handful of, so McCarthy, Ringwald, Judd, Emilio, like they hated, and they've been vocal about it for years. They hated the fact that they were called the Brat Pack. Interesting documentary. It was fine. It was not groundbreaking. It's not going to win any awards. I think it could have, but I think he pulled some like a real fluff piece. But it was entertaining to hear these actors and how this article calling them brats impacted their careers, and a little bit of like how it's impacted like their careers and stuff. A couple of people fucking love it. Like they leaned into it and owned it and then still made careers for themselves. And then some people are just like really upset about it and let it define themselves. There's a really interesting, so again, Andrew McCarthy hates that they were called brats. And he's basically on this documentary quest to get people to agree with him. In the short, wasn't this the worst thing that could happen to a bunch of child or young adult actors? And that as he journeys through this hour and a half, he's able to take a step back, I guess, right? And realize that the Brat Pack in those movies, the creator of the Breakfast Club, what was his name? Hugh. Oh shit. Oh man, I just had it too. John Hughes. Like all those movies and all those in that like that 80s time frame, like defined a generation, and that timelessly 40 years later, people are still watching these movies and identifying with with these actors in these movies. And it's interesting to watch McCarthy view the Brat Pack from a different lens, and you get to watch his journey through it. Like I said, not groundbreaking. It was good, entertaining. If you're interested in any of the these actors from the 80s, the Brat Pack, watch it. If not for the very end, the interview he does with the original journalist is fantastic. Everything's frozen. I think Mom's a little bit. Am I still on? I'm still on. I think I'll refresh, Mom. Hold on. She just missed 30 minutes of the show. That, or I clearly have no idea what I'm doing and it's still frozen, but I don't think it's still frozen. I guess I could just look at my fucking. Hold on. I would assume that you guys would have texted me more. Let's see. Am I still on? Turn that down. Yeah, I'm still here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see if Mom comes back. Where are you at, Mom? That's so funny. Where are you at, Mom? We should be back on now. That's so funny. I love her. Let's give her a second to hang out and see where she's at. Refresh. Is that you? Are you back? I saw the number go up. That's so funny. Brats was the documentary my mom was waiting for the last 2 months, maybe. I was interested. It was on my radar. It was fine. It was entertaining. But it was I still think it's good because it was the idea that McCarthy thought he was right and that he was done some kind of injustice. And I think if anything you get out of it is just viewing something from a different lens changes the entire. And I think that's like with anything, right? Like, oh, my life sucks. It's not fair, whatever. Like, I guess all you have to kind of do is like, I mean, that's the hardest part is to change the way that you view things, to be like, well, it could be worse. It's not that bad. Like, oh, poor me. I don't have enough people to help me write and do this podcast thing. But if I change the lens a little bit, it's like I'm having a blast. No idea what I'm doing, but it's great time and I'm having fun and I'm connecting and doing something that I'm enjoying. So Brats is on Hulu. It can't be more than like an hour 30, maybe hour 40. The Emilio, it is very fluffy. I think there were opportunities they could have gone on harder, and I think we could have reached out to more of the actors in that time. My mom mentioned James Spader. He was in a couple of those movies, but because he was more on the indie side, I think he wasn't quite associated as Brat Pack, but like Brat Pack adjacent. But I think we could have seen some harder hitting questions. And I think we could have found a couple more actors from that same time frame. Did you make it back in, Mom? We'll see. Hold on. Refresh. We're all just going to sit here and wait for my mom. That's what we're going to do. I think that's all I got for TV. I realized I should have thrown up another screen for what I'm currently watching. Fargo on FX, season 5, I think it is. Good. I'm like an episode in. Juno Temple from Ted Lasso is fucking brilliant in this thing. Like, there's 6 or 7 episodes. So another show that doesn't feel it needs to hit this arbitrary 10, and they just make a better quality show condensed in a nice in tight 7 or 6 episodes. Juno's doing something amazing over here in this Fargo show. I'm excited to finish the rest of it. It seems entertaining enough, but I want to see what she continues to do. So this week I'll find something else, but I didn't have the slide for it, so you have to deal. Fargo is the recommendation for this week. All right, so I don't know what today's been up and down. We lost a couple of people during the outage. It happens, but hit the thumbs up. Leave some comments. Michelle, if you're still here, hey man, hit the thumbs up. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I've been doing this for a year. You just found out. So, give me the, where the hell has this been? How come you didn't tell me earlier? We got 9 people gave the thumbs up. So I appreciate everybody, supports, with the thumbs ups and having a good time hanging out. All right. Let's see where we're going next. All right. What's in my pocket? Rabbit holes. Here's what we're doing today here, guys. On my feed, I had to go in and delete some previously watched videos from my history because I kept getting the same goofy, stupid shit. So I deleted a couple of things to hopefully change the algorithm to stop giving me the same 4 things. So I find this Jeff guy. No idea. Like, I don't know what caused me to click on it. I do know it's the last video that I'm going to show you guys here today. I find Jeff, I watched a couple of his videos, and then I fall down this rabbit hole where I watch just about everything he's done so far. I'll leave some comments, give him the thumbs up. I even tweeted him and said, hey, do you mind if I talk about your show on my show? Like, I talk about you. And he's like, yeah, do it up, So, buckle up. We got, hold on, let's go see here. I got some notes. There are 3 different videos that I'm going to showcase from Jeff here. He's maybe Swedish, or he did a video from Sweden. I don't know. He's over there, right? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to play parts of his videos. I was going to try to clip them. YouTube lets you clip segments, but I couldn't. They weren't long enough to really give this guy to do Jeff any kind of justice. We got the first video is an iceberg video that is just wildly entertaining. Let's find it here. All right, so he's got an iceberg video. I got some times on here, right? 1, because I'm gonna have to fucking share screen, and we know how good I am at this, so we'll figure it out. He's got 3 clips, so we got one that's 3 minutes, 3 minutes, and 2.5 minutes long, right? So, was that 3, 3, 6, 8? And then the second one is 3, 6 minutes long, and then the last one is about 4.5 minutes long. I'm just going to show you clips of 3 just amazing videos that he's put together. I 100% recommend that after you give me the thumbs up and after this live stream, go to Jeff. Was it JEFFIOT? I think the IoT might be because he did like an ARG called 10 tapes. So 10 tapes by right? So elite. I don't know. I didn't go that deep dive on him yet. Like enough where I want to start stalking him, but I'm not going to yet. So Jeff IoT, right, on YouTube. I got his links in the descriptions. Follow this guy. He is fucking brilliant as a creator. Like, if you like the whimsiness of what I do, he does it with like editing. Like we're the same person. He could be like a brother of mine. He could be the other Ben. You're gonna have to listen to the Mind Pockets to hear that one. But fantastic. He is a comedy YouTuber. We'll put a pin in that because when we get to the third video, there's more to him than just what he's doing here. So give me a second. We figure out how to fucking scoot all this stuff over. Let's go full screen on Ben. Okay, we're gonna go full screen here. Nope, I lied. Stand by. Hold on, I gotta get this one over here. All right, and then share screen. Where are we at? So, because I don't want to lose track of everything, so it's weird. I'm just going to walk you guys through what I'm doing right now. I have my computer, and now I have to take the screen that I'm looking at, half it, and then put it off to the side, and then I got to open up the YouTube video and put it on this half, so I can watch both at the same time and still manipulate the YouTube screen. So yeah, the more you know. YouTube share. Okay. Like I said, 3 videos. Hang out with me, please. Like, this guy is fantastic. It is weird. So iceberg videos are the big rage right now on YouTube, and he'll kind of describe a little bit of what a iceberg is. But he is fantastic. I hope you guys enjoy him also. I did run I sent Andy some clips. She liked him. And she's like, oh yeah, do this guy. So we'll jump out over here. Can I get a full screen on him? Can I get you full screen? There we go. All right. So hang out with me. I do have technically the chats up a little bit. It's going to be a fucking bumpy ride because I have to like pause and we're going to see some ads. So, bear with me. So here's the first of 3 videos and the first of 3 clips for this video. Let's see if this works out. Oh, shit. Already messed up. So I'm going to rewind it. And the problem is you're going to get an ad. Nope. Okay, here we go.
Mustaches are awesome. An iceberg video, for any uninitiated millennials that might be watching this, is when you take a topic and then you list a bunch of more or less obscure trivia or facts or storylines or whatever it may be, and you put it onto that iceberg, starting from the top with the stuff that people are most likely to know about, and then moving all the way down to the bottom to the most obscure facts. So, for example, if we were to make an iceberg of Harry Potter, then the top layer would be something like Dumbledore is gay, and then you would work your way all the way down to literally or whatever it may be. I don't know the Harry Potter fandom that well, but I think it's essentially like that. So when I sat down to create my own tiny little iceberg, I decided to go down the perhaps pretty boring sounding routes of weird Wikipedia articles, which when you think of it is kind of like saying the weirdest movies with stories in them, or top 10 albums that contain music, because Wikipedia just kind of contains everything. But listen, hypothetical person questioning me, bugger off with you, leave it alone, will you? Big whoop, give it a break, governor. I wrote this script in like one sitting. Can you tell? So let's get into it as soon as I've established 3 things. Number 1, what defines weird is very subjective, and a lot of the icebergs that I found online contain stuff that I didn't really find interesting or that just didn't fit my...
Do you know the U.S. solar company's nasty little secret? Well, it
Hold
turns
on.
out if you live in Arizona, they
amazing.
have to give you
Epic style of video content. So I decided to go through a few top lists, some icebergs made by other people, as well as add some of my own stuff and compile it into an iceberg with only stuff that I find interesting. Number 2, the way I structure the iceberg is not from most known to least known, like most icebergs, because honestly, how the fuck would I know which one of these that people have heard of or haven't heard of? So instead, I divided it into 4 layers based on how familiar I personally were with the topic before researching them all for this video. So therefore, the layers are named after what I would probably say if you brought any of these topics up to me in a conversation a few weeks ago. Starting with, oh yeah, don't get me started. Followed by, yeah, I know that. After which we've got, oh, I think I heard something about this. And finally, no idea what you're on about for the things that I hadn't heard about at all before researching this video. I have heard about them now, because are you following? Does this make sense? And number 3, I just want to clarify that this is not a true crime channel. And as such, I mostly try to stay away from like more recent or gruesome criminal cases, as my goal is to talk about spooky mysteries and not, life tragedies on here. But sometimes the break-off point between the two of these can be a little bit vague, and therefore I want to state clearly that this is first and foremost a comedy channel, and I will be making little goofy jokes every now and then throughout this entire video and the rest of all of my videos, some of which will be jokes about some pretty dark topics. And as such, if you think that's not for you, then that's totally fine, but maybe my top comedy antics aren't up your alley and another channel would fit you better, and that's okay. So get your special snowflake soy milk drinking ass out of here, because we're about to slam Monster Energy, watch Family Guy, and make jokes about race. Make America fucking great again. Why doesn't my son speak to me anymore?
That's an intro to Jeff. He does some really fun stuff with the video aspects of it. And he gives you a breakdown what an iceberg video is. He does. There's a handful of icebergs topics on this. I recommend that you watch the whole thing because his comedy really lends to the topics that he chooses and does some really fantastic, fun things. I'm going to show you 2 that I think are going to be super fun. I just like him, so I'm going to show you guys 2 parts of this iceberg for this video, and I hope you enjoy.
Inclined. Hey, come here. Yeah, come closer. No, even closer. Come. No, even closer. Yeah. Did you know that in 1983, the video game developer and distributor company Atari buried extraterrestrials in a landfill in New Mexico? By extraterrestrials, I of course mean thousands of copies of E.T., the extraterrestrial for the Atari 2600, a game rumored to be the worst video game of all time. Which, side note, it absolutely isn't the worst game of all time. It just objectively is not that. I think a lot of people look at it now and are like, oh, look at this fucking graphics, dude. What is this even supposed to be? Oh, look, E.T. is flying, voice is neck longer. And it's like, have you seen any other Atari 2600 games? They all look like this. They all came with a fucking manual where you had to read what it is you're looking at because the graphics are so
rudimentary.
But despite popular belief, it wasn't actually only E.T. that was buried in that landfill. It was also Raiders of the Lost Ark, Defender, Berserk, Pac-Man, and Mrs. Pac-Man. And honestly, Brangelina ain't got shit on Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man. I mean, they got fucking buried together. Couple gold. Name a more iconic duo. I'll wait. Honestly, fucking kill me. And another quick side note, because this is my video and I'll go on all the fucking tangents I want. Did you know that the ghosts in Pac-Man all have names? Perhaps you do. All of their names are on the start screen after all. But did you also know that all of them have individual personalities and behaviors? Yeah, buckle up. It's gonna be a fucking tangent. So their names are Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. And Blinky is the only ghost that is actively chasing you all the time, and he is just trying his absolute best to catch up with the exact tile that Pac-Man is currently at. Pinky, on the other hand, tries to position herself 4 tiles or 32 pixels in front of Pac-Man's mouth, except when Pac-Man is facing upwards, because when he is, there's a bug that makes Pinky target 4 tiles in front of Pac-Man and 4 tiles behind him at the same time. Inky is a little bit complicated. So he first looks 2 tiles in front of Pac-Man, and then he looks over to Blinky, and basically he draws a line between Blinky and 2 tiles in front of Pac-Man. He then doubles the length of that line, and that's where he's headed. And lastly, we've got Clyde. And let me tell you, Clyde is up to some shit. So first of all, Clyde has 2 separate modes that he is constantly switching between based on his proximity to Mr. Man. If he's further away than 8 tiles from Pac-Man, he does exactly what Blinky does. He tries to target Pac-Man, but if he's 8 tiles or closer, he instead targets the bottom left corner outside of the maze. And this is why the Pac-Man ghosts feel so dynamic and why it feels, you know, they're not just following you in a straight line, they're all using different tactics to catch you. And you know what? Just because I know some of you are going to be like, just went on a long tangent about the virgin Pac-Man ghost and it was supposed to be about the Atari video game burial. Well, look at this. Hola! They're on the list now. So they're also on the iceberg, and we covered that one while we were covering the Atari video game Burial. So what are you going to do about it? You're not my real dad. Hello, cat. So back to the video game.
Oh, I love it. He's so fun. All right, I got one more for you. I was going to put this in. I was listening to basically copy what he's going to do on this next one. Now I just figure like, he's gonna do it better than I could, so I'm just gonna like fuck it. I emailed him like I'm just gonna play your shit. It was so funny. Okay, hold on. So we get into 3648. Okay, here we go. No ad. No ad. Hold on. Again, all still part of his iceberg. There's a bunch of stuff on the iceberg, right? So we just skipped through a bunch, but here's a kind of a fun little anecdote he had with.
Buffalo, 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 buffalo. Let's talk about that for a little bit. So basically, this, as far as I understand it, is a fully grammatically correct English sentence. And just like with the frog battery, I'm not sure if I fully understand it, but with this one, I'm a little bit more sure. So I'm gonna try my best to explain it. Essentially, this sentence uses 3 different meanings of the word buffalo. 1, a city named Buffalo, like Buffalo, New York, for example. 2, the verb buffalo, which means to bully, harass, or intimidate. And 3, the noun buffalo, as in the animal. So essentially, if I understand it correctly, this sentence is basically saying that the buffaloes from Buffalo, New York, that get bullied by other buffaloes from Buffalo, New York, also bullies buffaloes from Buffalo, New York. The Wikipedia article explains it even better, I think, because they have a semantically equivalent form of this sentence that also preserves the original word order, and that goes like this. Buffalo bison that other buffalo bison bully also bully buffalo bison. Buffalo, buffalo, buffalo.
How entertaining was that? Right? This guy is awesome. I very much enjoy him. We got another video. I got to see if I can find it. Is it going to let me? All right, let's see if it lets me exit full. Nope. Shit. Go back. All right, let's see. What do you guys think of his iceberg? While I'm basically searching for his other video. What do you guys think of that? Anybody experience iceberg videos recently? Like any of you guys fall down an iceberg rabbit hole? They're kind of like big right now. Everybody seems to be doing them. And it's so much to the point where they are crediting other people's icebergs and basically trading, like I'll do this half and then you do this half and then we'll just combine them and I'll just give you credit on mine. A lot of collabing going on with those iceberg videos. They're interesting. They're just like little snippets of different topics, and if you find one that you like, then you kind of go, then you have to go deep dive and kind of fall down a rabbit hole yourself to kind of research it a little bit. But they let you into different weird things that are on the internet. All right. This one is
no living being should ever eat processed food for every single meal of their life.
You should not eat processed food for
A new goat was then
life.
constructed.
Here,
The wackiest prank.
So this video he goes into there's fuck, I didn't even pay attention to what city it is. There's a goat that the city builds this large goat made of hay every year for the holidays, and it's about $140. He goes fucking deep on this story, and it is hilarious. It is fun, but he's going to go into the origins of this centerpiece created every year of this goat. So the first clip here I have for you guys is the origin of this goat, and then I'll have one more small video talking about what happens to this goat frequently.
Well, and hopefully that allows for you to follow alongside with me on this journey. I am going to attempt to once and for all clarify to myself and in extension to anyone watching my stance on Gävlebocken. Now, it's very likely that at this point you're still very confused as to why I'm even talking about this seemingly mundane straw goat, but don't worry, it'll all make sense soon. But before we get into that, I think we should start everything off with some historical context. Let's fucking do this, gamers. Let's go back all the way to the old and boring times, you know, when everything was black and white and decidedly non-epic. As far as historians have been able to figure out in their lame little nerd historian rooms, the modern version of the julbock stems back to the early 1700s. Back then, when Christmas time was upon us, young people from all around Sweden would walk around the different farms and cottages, knocking on doors and performing little songs and dances and theatrical performances in exchange for food, drinks, and or money. All of these earnings would then be gathered up and shared amongst all the participants at a banquet held during Mellandagarna. Mellandagarna is the period of time between Christmas, which we celebrate on the 24th, and New Year's Eve. The literal translation of Mellandagarna is the in-between days. And if you think that's weird, a lot of you watching have a day during that time called Boxing Day. What the fuck is Boxing Day? So maybe check yourself before attacking me, honey, okay? During this whole going from house to house to get food thing, it would be common for one person of each group to be dressed up as a goat, apparently using a goat mask made out of straw, which, by the way, if you think that sounds terrifying, that's because it absolutely is. Merry Christmas, Jesus Christ. As traditions do, it evolved, and during the 1800s, the upper classes began having one person in every family dress up as the Christmas goat and hand out gifts to everyone else. Remind you of anyone? But I'll have you know that this was before Mr. Claus was on everyone's lips during this time of year, so if you're a fan of this season and this big bearded Coca-Cola salesman, just remember that this is the original Christmas icon. Only 1790s kids will remember. What I'm trying to say is that this goat walked so that this man could ride his sleigh and eat cookies. He doesn't really do that here. I don't know why you think he needs to eat cookies, but it feels very fitting. I could picture him drinking Mountain Dew for you as well. I might have to cut that. From there, it then devolved into some sort of game where you apparently tried to hide a straw goat like this somewhere in your friend's house, and if your friend found it, they had to return it to your house without being noticed. I don't know, I'd never heard about this one before researching this video, but it checks out that the wackiest pranks that Swedes could come up with like 200 years ago was basically just giving someone a not so inconvenient item and then be kind of like, hey, what if you also gave this back to me? Wouldn't that be fucking, hey, it's a prank, bro, don't taste. In the early 1900s, the goat started becoming more of a decoration piece, with the Christmas tree ornament sized and vaguely Boston Terrier sized version being the most popular. But as you probably know, whenever there is a thing, there's always going to be someone who goes, what if thing, but big. And in this case, that person supposedly was Steve.
So there's the history of the straw goat. It's an hour, like I said, it's like an hour 40, right? So he kind of makes sure, let's see, 10:35. Close enough. 10. Hold on, close enough. Here we go. So now he'll kind of go into the history of when it was created and displayed in the history of every year of this goat.
It's been a as far as history is concerned. But that's not what happened. Because as I stated in the introductory hook to this here YouTube video, that New Year's Eve, someone snook up on the goat and lit it on fire. Snook? They snook? Sneaked? Someone snook up on the goat. So the goat burned to the ground. The next year another goat was built and oh, what's that? Someone burned it again? And then someone did it again. And then someone else. And then another goat got burned. And another one. Another one. Another one. DJ Cal. Rinse and repeat that with some variations, and you've arrived at our current day, right here in the year of our Lord 2022/2023/2024/2025/2026. And if you're here any later than 2026 watching this very video, I assume that either I'm dead or you're looking into some of my old videos for more instances of me saying problematic stuff to use in the ongoing cancellation of me, and whichever the case, good riddance. But that's basically it for the cultural backstory of how the goat came to be in the first place, both as a Christmas symbol in Sweden, but also specifically the Gävle goat. Now, for your consumption convenience, I have, with the help of Wikipedia, Gävle City's website, and various other sources, compiled a comprehensive list chronicling the collapsing, breaking, burnings, and various other fates that the goat has faced throughout the years. This list fully covers every single year between 1966 and the present day, 2022 excluded. However, for digestibility and narrative reasons, I have divided this list into 3 separate sections, respectively covering 1966 to 79, 1980 to 99, and 2000 to 2021. I've spread out these 3 different sections throughout the video because I don't trust your attention span enough to sit through all of it at once. And with that being said, we already know that the first year of its life, the goat was burned on the 31st of December, 1966. In 1967, the goat survived. 1968, a fence was installed around the goat, and it survived. That's 2 years in a row. Let's see if that pattern repeats. In 1969, security efforts were intensified even further, this time wrapping the inside of the goat with a layer of chicken wire. On the 31st of December, the goat was burned to the ground. In 1970, a mere 6 hours after the inauguration of the goat, it burned to the ground at the hands of 2 teenagers, both of whom were caught, but neither sentenced. A new goat was then constructed, this time for some reason draped in lake reeds rather than straw. This second goat survived, and despite this, the idea of using reeds was seemingly never revisited. 1971, the goat was smashed to pieces. This caused the organization in charge of building it to officially give up. The Natural Science Association of the Vasa School took over and built a smaller goat to replace the original. This smaller one was also smashed to pieces. For 1972, I have no clear sources on exactly what happened, but reportedly, the goat collapsed
due to sabotage.
In 1973, a person only referred to as a man born in 1956, which would have made him merely 17 years old at the time of the crime, apparently managed to somehow steal the entire goat, presumably by somehow getting it onto a trailer. He proceeded to place the goat firmly in his backyard, where it stood until the police came and brought it back. He was supposedly sentenced to 2 years in prison. Justice for the goat stealer. In 1974, the goat was burned. In 1975, the goat collapsed on its own accord. 1976, a student drove his Volvo Amazon right into the hind legs of the goat, collapsing it. In 1977, the goat was burned. 1978, kicked to pieces. And do not ask me exactly how they differentiate between kicked to pieces and smashed to pieces. I don't know where they got this information or how they know which part of the body that the perpetrators used to destroy the goat. It's going off of the sources that I've been able to find, and they say that it was kicked to pieces. And in 1979, presumably wanting to outdo the goat burner of 1970, who again managed to burn the goat after just 6 hours, someone lit the goat on fire before it was even inaugurated. Following this, a new goat was constructed and subsequently erected. This second goat was said to be fireproof, and therefore met its fate by being smashed to pieces.
Brilliant. Like, if you don't watch YouTube that often, or you kind of just do all like the mainstreamy stuff, like this is the quality of stuff out there. Like this guy, he puts out videos. Clearly, he puts a grip of work, research into these things. So he deep dives on some of these different topics. He's putting out videos once a month, maybe a little bit sooner, sometimes a little bit later. He's got a Patreon where he does some like behind the scenes content. So recommend watching this. It's an hour 40. You saw the first timeline. He still has an hour 30 left to go. He goes deep dive on the history of this thing. Does some interviews. He goes to Sweden, talks to some people about it, and then wraps it up with his opinion of should it. Basically, he thinks it's fine to burn it. So he does all this research to determine whether or not is he on the wrong side? Like, should it be preserved or should it be burned down? So there's a goat one. Links in the description. Let's see. All right. Not that one. This one has another fucking ad.
Live free, eat Sonic.
This is the one that I found him originally in.
How do I sign that?
Let me get through this. Okay, hold on.
Threads. Okay, I made one.
So I've talked about lost media, disturbing, like some of these, like these different, like lost media type topics before. Nick Crowley is the one I keep referring to, Blame It on Jorge, that they take all these weird lost media or disturbing media, TV things, and they take these little clips and they go deep dive on the topic, and then they string them and they make a whole like 30-minute video together. But like, for example, the one I'm watching recently is Lost Media. And what happens is I mentioned on Saturday, that I'm going to try to go deep dive on the back rooms. So what happens is like, there's Lost Media is we have these pictures of the back room. We have pictures of trumpet guy here. And what happens is the internet gets together and they try to figure out where this original image came from. A little bit of back. This one I absolutely 100% recommend. It's 42 minutes long. This is a brilliant piece of YouTube media. Like, this is a fantastic story. If you watch nothing else, watch this one. This one, I think, is going to showcase all of the great things that Jeff is and he does. Let's see, 140. I want to go to 23. But what happens is, I'll play a little bit of it, but we're trying to figure out where this original trumpet skull image came from. It's a weird internet meme. It's been around for a while. Wolf Puppy used it back in 2011, and that's kind of where it took off in like pulp culture and becoming a meme. And we find out that Wolf Puppy made the first video that everybody refers back to. But as he investigates the history of this this GIF, this image, we realize that it goes further back. And what's interesting is Wolf Puppy back in 2011, right? So we reach out to Wolf Puppy and say, hey, where did you come up with this? Where did you find this image of the skull trumpet? And he's like, I just found it somewhere. And that's kind of where this video starts, is where does this image originate from? And it seems almost stupid enough, right? If you watch the very beginning of this video, he talks about the dancing baby that was originally like considered one of the first memes, internet memes, from Ally McBeal, right? It was in like 2 episodes, the dancing baby. But that one you could research the guy who actually created that image back in like 98. But with Skeleton Trumpet Guy, it's not as easy because it 100% warrants this 40-minute video. This is the best video right now I've watched all week. I've watched it twice. There's technically a follow-up video. But I'm going to go ahead and play. I think I got 2 clips. And then I got some comments at the end. So let me go ahead and full screen this thing. Get you guys back to your full screen here. And
Yeah, look at that. Yet again, the answer is a simple Google search away. Except what if I told you that every single one of these search results are blatantly incorrect? What if I told you that I've spent the last several weeks doing nothing else than trying to track down the origin of this trumpet-playing skeleton? And what if I told you that to my knowledge, no one has attempted this before, and if someone has, no one has succeeded, but I did. So let me tell you what I found. So about a month ago, I was in the final stretch of editing my last video, and at one point I wanted to add a quintessential spooky GIF to spice up some joke I was making. I opened the GIF search bar, and without hesitating, I wrote the words
Trumpet skull.
I dropped the GIF into the timeline, but then I stopped for a second, because I had a thought.
Is it really called Trumpet Skull?
This thought was quickly followed by another.
Where's that GIF from, anyway?
So as implied in the intro, I did what any normal person would do, turned to Google. And again, just as expected, here is a listing for skull trumpet / doot doot on knowyourmeme.com. Scrolling down to origin, we can read the following.
According to various accounts, the skull trumpet sprite was first introduced through 3D Movie Maker, a computer graphic software program developed and released by Microsoft's Microsoft Kids subsidiary in 1995.
There we go. That was that. My query solved, I went back to work. Except something irked me. See, I didn't grow up with Microsoft 3D Movie Maker, but about a year ago or so, I was planning to do a stream where I'd be playing around in the software, and in preparation for that stream, being the spooky boy that I am, I specifically played around with the skeleton, and this trumpet skull looks nothing like I remember the skeleton looking in 3D Movie Maker. But again, I did what any normal person would do. I shrugged it off as a faulty memory and got back to work, except I didn't. Instead, I downloaded 3D Movie Maker, opened it up, placed down the skeleton, and just as I remembered, it looked nothing like Trumpet Skull. Something wasn't adding up. Back to Google. I searched Skeleton Trumpet Windows 3D Movie Maker, and among the pages upon pages of websites parroting this same seemingly incorrect statement, I found this video.
Various sources online claim that the Doot skeleton was created using Microsoft 3D Movie Maker. This is the skeleton character provided in 3D Movie Maker. Now ask yourself, does this skeleton look like this skeleton? The answer is clearly no. They look nothing alike. Is there no consideration for facts? For the truth in today's modern web environment? It starts with the Doot skeleton, but where does it end? To what extremes will this disregard?
Now, obviously, this guy knows what he's talking about, but neither him nor anyone in the comments brought any clarity to the next natural question. If it's not from 3D Movie Maker, then where is it from? And this is where my hunt really began.
Nice little teaser for you guys. We're 5 minutes into the video. There's a small chunk in the beginning that you missed. But the internet is fucking wild right now. That there's so much stuff, like you mentioned, right? We just chalk things up to a false memory, or we just look at something and we just don't really notice or care where it came from. But there is a huge segment of the internet that wants to know.
Oh, Uber Eats has groceries now? I gotta remember that.
You know, the best way to remember something is just forget something.
What'd you forget?
Down in the description, here's Santa.
But it's crazy because the internet is like, they want to know where these things came from. So, like a lot of these different memes or some of these TV shows or just these lost media things were posted sometimes 20, 15 years ago. And to be able to try and track where original images come from is crazy. Most people probably wouldn't care where the trumpet skull came from, but he's just like, whatever. Here's a small segment in the middle. He's so far in the 12 minutes since the last part, he's just showing his research where he's doing what he's, and like just how deep he goes into finding the origin of this image.
Santa, that's insane. Let's get on with the video.
Hey, there he is.
Ad.
How you been?
Amazing. Hold on.
Despite their previously cryptic response to the author of the Gawker article, it doesn't take Wolf Puppy long to get back to me.
As the person who made the Skull Trumpet video on my PiePuppy89 YouTube account, I can say I have seen zero evidence that it came from 3D Movie Maker. I can say I originally found the animated GIF for the Skull Trumpet video from a now defunct site called Heather's Animations. The site had a big collection of early internet GIFs, including the Skull Trumpet one, and a GIF of a 3D rotating piece of bread, which I also turned into.
Heather's Animations. Quick Google search. Defunct. Wayback Machine. And there he is. Unfortunately, the file name is simply skull125, which doesn't do much for us right now, and despite how this website may look, this page is from 2011, so while this initially might look and feel like a more significant find, I quickly realized that this isn't much different from the ones that I've already found through TinyEye. It's at this point that I start to get desperate. The answer feels so close, yet so far away. I delete this new download and go to my archive of saved Skull Trumpet GIFs. Mirrored versions, transparent versions, different resolutions, different frame rates, with and without the repeating start frames. Okay, let's do this. I throw each and one of these files into a metadata inspector, just in case I've missed something. Nothing. Okay, next, let's take each and one of them and split their animations up into separate frames, and then run each and every one of those frames through reverse image search one by one. The logic behind this being that in the same way that the Facebook page turned the animation into a single frame JPEG, which suddenly yielded older results, perhaps some other archaic website did the same thing, but with another frame. But 2 hours of painstaking work later, still nothing. And it's at this point that I can feel the hope drain out through my body, my spirit broken and tired, my motivation at an all-time low. I've hit a wall. Am I not supposed to get to the bottom of this? Like, is this mystery simply meant to go unsolved? I feel like I've done everything I can and I've gone above and beyond. Is this really it? As a last resort, I sink deeper than I previously thought I ever could. In the words of Nietzsche, beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster, for when you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you. And so it did, when I, tail between my legs, head hanging low, created a thread on Reddit. Actually, no.
From there on, we get into the second half of this story. Let me go back to full screen. Where am I at? Get out of there. I hope that some of you guys go and watch this particular video. This one is fantastic. The first two ones that we saw, we can see where he gets a little bit fun and whimsy, and he's making jokes and he's having a good time, and he's just doing his thing, right? Which I think is why I gravitated to Jeff's site, because he's just now, to be fair, he obviously has the knowledge and the production value to make his videos look really nice, really pretty transitions, and just his videos are fun. But I think what gravitated me to it is he literally just does and says whatever it is like he wants to do. He finds a topic and then he goes deep dive and then creates these fascinating videos discussing said topics. And they're fun and entertaining enough. You know, Adam, to your, subscribe to him, get some updates when he does like a deep dive on like Final Destination. He breaks down like the Final Destination movies, the rules, and then kind of just makes fun of like the absurdity of these movies and these deaths, and then tries to like see like he tries to add like I don't know how to say it. He watches the movies and finds out how consistent the movies are to Death's plan and all these deaths across the Final Destinations. He does very similar to what I did today. He has a couple of videos where he talks about different ARGs, and he kind of just gives you a taste of the ARG. There's a couple of Jorge, I'll blame it on Jorge, Nick Crowley. They'll go deep dives on some of these ARGs or these analog horrors and give you the whole breakdown on the history of these different ARGs and analog horrors. What Jeff does is gives you a taste of those videos, those stories, and then just gives you enough to get you hooked, and then tells you, go look at this person's YouTube channel, basically giving you like, just showing you where it's at and be like, this is a great ARG, go watch it, go experience the whole thing from start to finish. He's like, I don't want to spoil anything here. He's like, I don't want to cut anything short. He's like, he has a real need, he wants you to experience the full ARG. Like these content creators created these fascinating stories that they put in these analog horrors and these ARGs. And he's like, instead of me just bastardizing their thing, I'm going to give you a little bit, you go and just, he's given them the props that says they did a fantastic job on this thing. You should just do the whole thing. Don't listen to a breakdown on why it's great. View it for yourself and discover why it's great. And that's what I try to do with Jeff here today is just give you guys some clips so you can kind of get a feel for the type of comedy that he has. And then just the overall production value of his videos are fantastic. Um, a little bit of all over. He likes, like he said in one of the videos, he just finds a topic and he just does something based off of something that he likes. He does a recreation of a book, a French book called The Mustache. That was weird and fantastic. He's got 3 more tiers on his iceberg that you can follow. I watch a bunch of stuff online, and really, Jorge, Nick Crowley are the 2 that I keep referring back to. Jeff is going to be one of them now. There's something about their videos that I enjoy and will continue to go back to. There's a lot of, I watch a bunch of stuff, and there's a bunch of videos that I like, but I don't know who they were. Watch the trumpet one, please, because the whole second half of the thing is where you're going to fall in love with Jeff. Like, you come in for the laughs, but at the end of the trumpet one, where do we find where the original trumpet skull originated from? I don't know, maybe. But the whole second half of that video gets into, spoiler alert, I guess they maybe find out where it came from, and the real honest feelings, and like this, he gets kind of like in this real vulnerable place of this stupid task of finding this trumpet video origin and what happens when he finds it. And the whole last 20 minutes of that video will make you cry. He does the original person's who created it, Kathy Jambi, just props her up on this pedestal of, we don't know who this lady is, but the whole second half of it, he just, I don't know. There was a toot her horn joke in there. I couldn't get it. I couldn't find it, but it was there. I think this trumpet video is probably his most important video of his entire catalog right now, because it gives you everything that Jeff is. And there's fun and games in the front half. In the whole second half, you get to see that Jeff has huge heart for people who create, who do things that they love and they're passionate about. And whether or not there is an audience for it, he values their what they do as a creator. And I fucking just love it. Like I said, I've watched it like 2 or 3 times already. Jeff's a good guy. All fun and games. The guy's got a big heart. He's a big softie. I've never talked to the guy, so we'll see if I might email him, see if he was okay with what I do for him. Like, did I do him justice? Leave me comments. Leave him comments, please. Subscribe to. I got a fucking page on him. Where is it at? Right after this, like here. Hold on. Find him on YouTube. Subscribe. Watch the skull trumpet. Let him know that you saw it from Whimsy. Tag me on it. Let him know that I did him a good service as far as promoting him as a content creator and comedian. Jeff's fan, like he's doing some fun stuff. I will eventually get to that level. Like the reason, like with the video, I do a lot of the live stuff because then I don't have to worry about editing all this shit. So, man, can you imagine the amount of work that he has to put into these videos? Like, I don't know if you saw in the background on it, like they're like you have to trim minutes and seconds and videos and audios and oh my god, it is bonkers to watch people do video editing. I know very basic, probably not even basic, like some like real lame, like he's an artist and it's, I don't know, like I'm just a podcast YouTube personality, and I'm fine with that. This guy's an artist, and I look forward to seeing what else he does. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Was there's so much content out there that we all look the same, and you never know and how to find the hidden gems on the internet. And all we can do as YouTubers and podcasters and content creators, the only thing that we can hope for is that somebody also with a podcast or YouTube platform finds us and somehow just helps, spread the word of Jeff. I don't have that many people. I got like 8 people watching this live stream, but that's 8 more followers, I hope. But you guys will never have found Jeff without me, and I'm glad that I found him because he's doing some fun stuff. He's definitely in the rotation for content creation that I look forward to. And I think I'm just about done. Hold on, I think someone's here. He's here. We are working on some Whimsy gaming stuff. So hold on, let me finish Jeff. Jeff, thank you for letting me use your work. I think you're doing some fun, really cool, interesting things. What you did with the trumpet skull is unbelievable. Weirdly, it's weird, right? Because it's important in a way, not for anybody in general, but when you watch the end of it, it's important to Kathy and her family, maybe, for something that a year ago nobody even gave a shit about, like where this image came from. And his intrigue took him down this rabbit hole, and then through that rabbit hole, he found Kathy in the heart of this random image. So, Jeff, awesome. Thank you. Email me, reach out. I got my buddy, I forgot your name, Jacob here. We are looking into doing some stuff with Magic the Gathering, the Whimsy gaming section of Whimsy. We're to go to a local card shop. We're going to play some Magic the Gathering. We're going to see what the setup looks like. We're going to set up some cameras, maybe. We're going to get some boys together. We're going to play some Magic the Gathering. And just have some fun with it. So we're gonna go scope out some locations. Hopefully we got some updates with you guys in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks maybe. We'll have Jacob on here so we can figure out where we're putting the videos, and we'll link and we'll partnership and do that whole fun thing. But we got some gaming coming, so we're branching out. This is kind of what I was saying is I've reached the ceiling that I can do what I can do, and now I got to bring in somebody who's just as passionate about something. He's going to create, and we'll let you guys know about Basement Dwellers, the rebranding of Basement Dwellers. You can find him on YouTube right now and Spotify. Old talk show, him and his buddy. He got into podcasting during the pandemic. So the original show, probably not so whimsy. A little bit more on the explicit side of things. But he whatever reason, he had to take a break from it. Now he's passionate again. That's what Whimsy does, is we try to get people passionate about things. He has a skill set that I don't have, but we both have a love for Magic the Gathering, and we hope to try to build something together with it.
Rebrand, baby.
It's all about the rebranding. So that's all we got for you guys. I told you today was gonna be a long one. I had fun. Watch True Detective Night Country. Watch Fargo, because I think it's gonna be fucking amazing. Juno Temple's doing some cool stuff over there. John Hamm is okay, I guess. Interesting enough, 6 episodes, hour long each. Easy peasy. And then if at nothing else, please, Jeff on YouTube, Jeff IoT. Subscribe, leave a comment that you found him through Whimsy. Leave some comments. Please watch that skull trumpet video. The whole back half of that thing is fucking amazing. I would love to talk to you guys about it. I think there was something special amongst all of his random funniness. There's heart and special there. So we're at 2 hours, man. I haven't done one of these in a while, a 2 hour. Go back, rewatch the beginning for the pre-show because I got the 3 questions, leave some messages. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. So get active. Talk to Jeff. Hit me up with some of those comments and the questions to those answers. That's all I got for you guys. Later. Whimsy. Hold on. I always have to say Whimsy and it takes 4 seconds to end the stream.